allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô. Le coq de l'école, le coq de l'école, allô, allô.
What up, Milwaukee? What up to the rest of the United States? This is your boy Track Lacer here to review the television movie Surviving Compton. It stars Robin, excuse me, not Robin, uh, something Nicole Brown, Ryan, yeah, Rhonyn. Stop naming these girls boys' names, man. Keep it simple. You know what I'm saying? Tramika, Vanessa. Stop with all this naming the girls' boys' names. And Curtis Hamilton, who played Dr. Dre. The only other person, trust me, Easy E is brief. The DOC, I don't even remember him. MC Ren, I don't remember him. Ice Cube is minor. The only characters they focus on this Lifetime movie was Michel'le, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight, and maybe Jerry Heller got a little bit of light too, but it's mostly just them four: Michel'le, Dr. Dre, Suge Knight. Yeah, really those three mostly. But I'm gonna say excellent job by the young lady who portrayed Michel'le, because for those of you who are familiar with her, she talks like somebody off of Barney and Friends. Like it doesn't sound real. She sounds like a cartoon when she talks. And so, but when she sings, she gets a little bit of bass in her voice, and it sounds real nice. But this young lady had that squeaky voice over cartoon voice down to the point that if you were to stop and just close your eyes and listen, you would think it's Miss Chalet talking. So she didn't look like her a whole lot, but I think she captured her personality, because the one thing I take away from this movie is that Miss Chalet is a real sweet person, but kind of gullible. And when you come from someplace as rough as South Central LA or Compton, and you're a sweet, loving, willing to do anything, gullible type of sweet person, people like that usually get eaten up alive. And it's unfortunate, but hopefully she can teach her son or her daughter, not to be that type of person and to stand up for yourself. So it was way late in the movie before she started to stand up to herself. So I guess the biggest controversy about the movie, and of course, which y'all all want to know, is when did the beating start, aka Beats by Dre. That's not a good look for your headphone company, man. But I will tell you, it actually shook me to see it, because I'm used to seeing domestic violence on TV in the movies, but it's the weirdest thing in this series. And I'll go ahead and spoil this, because if you guys haven't seen it, it's not like this is a TV movie, so it's not like it's gonna be on DVD or anything like that. So uh the first time he hit Miss Chalet, he came into the bedroom and kind of close to her. Like, I think she thought that he was about to kiss her, and he just bam, he just fired on her, and he hit her so hard I think she was in shock. But then he hit her four more times, just rocking her face. But the whole time he was hitting her like that, he was crying, and the movie never addressed what he was crying about. It was real weird, you know what I'm saying? So obviously we don't approve of him doing that. but it did make you wonder what was going on, and you have some empathy a little bit towards him because she was kind of confused and she had some empathy after he was hitting her. She just kind of held him and was just trying to console him, but it was like no explanation. You know what I'm saying? So now the thing about Suge in the movie, one thing that you guys will be pleasantly surprised by is that his last name is Marcos. I don't know his first name, but the same gentleman who plays Suge on Straight Outta Compton plays Suge in this movie, and he's very believable. Um, this man might have a future in acting. I mean, he was very convincing in the two times I've seen him play Suge. But even more so, he was convincing in this movie, even more so than in Straight Outta Compton, because compared to Dre, he was very sweet to her at first. He was very polite. He was caring. He kind of looked out for her, and she kind of fell for him because of that. But then halfway towards the end, he just snaps on her, and he doesn't beat her the way that Drake did. He only really got a real good one time in the movie. But Michel'le did an interview in her squeaky voice. Oh, Dre only hit me. Suge only hit me one time, and after that one time, he said, "You're too small for me to be hitting on you like that." So I guess he felt somewhat guilty about it, but he did some real shady stuff in the movie in terms of some business moves that involved her, got her kind of caught up in some legal stuff. But you will appreciate the fact that once enough was enough, she kind of stood up to him and basically said, "Man, I mean, what are you gonna do besides kill me?" So that was good that she finally came back. Um, I would I would probably give the movie a B plus. I want to give it a A minus, but I think when you ever have the star of the movie narrating their own movie, it gives it a TV type of feel. You know what I'm saying? So we already know it's a TV movie, but when the real Michel'le is talking and narrating, it kind of makes it feel more like a after school special. Rest in peace to Easy E. I like after school specials. Remember when he told Cube that? But that took away from it. Michel'le did some real singing at the end of it, and even though I kind of respect where it's coming from, that also was a little bit cheesy, so that took away from it a little bit. Um, I guess the biggest thing to take away from this is that Dre was just a real piece of crap. They only show one moment where they genuinely seemed happy. They was doing donuts, driving around, I guess celebrating a hit record or something like that, or buying a new house, something like that. And they genuinely seemed happy in that one moment. But that was the only time that you saw any type of happiness. It was really the only time you even saw him treating her like a human being. So it was kind of rough. Um, and I guess um, I just can't get over just how rough he treats women. And it really made me want to see Dre square up with maybe some of them cats from Above the Law, CPO. I know he got into it with Luke Skywalker, aka Uncle Luke, one time. Seeing him beat on Michel'le like this in this special, and then knowing he beat a female reporter, D Barnes, back in the day, really make me want to see Drake square up with a dude and just somebody, as my East Coast brothers say, just get 5 minutes with him. Somebody square up, and I just want to see him get some of that back. But the other final interesting thing that I can say about it is that they didn't have the rights to the music. So when Tupac makes an appearance, he's rapping some generic Tupac song to some generic beat. Um, when she first met NWA, they were working on a track and it had this generic guitar in it, but you could tell that guitar was supposed to be Boys in the Hood. And even when they did No More Lies, which was her first single and which was a number one hit on the R&B charts, you could tell that they just replayed the music and they didn't even use the original music to that. So I found it very interesting that there might have been some legal issues with copyrights or ownership of the music, because whenever you make these biopics, you gotta have the music. Otherwise, it loses the feeling. Even when you have the real person there narrating it. And I guess the final thing I can say about this, like I said, I gave it a B plus. I salute Michel'le for telling her story. The whole thing about Suge Knight actually being the guy from Straight Outta Compton is crazy, because Dr. Dre was very much against this movie. He didn't want it to come out. He was threatening to sue. And the very fact that the cat that played in Straight Outta Compton, which was executive produced by Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, even though he didn't want this movie to come out, he played Suge. So I guess dude didn't get the memo that Dre wasn't feeling this movie, or he felt like Suge in real life. Do something. I'm finna get my check, bro. But I definitely recommend it. I'm gonna just go ahead and throw 5 rap slash R&B biopics I think that I would really want to see, because they getting a little better. This one was way better than the Whitney Houston and the Leah one, and obviously Straight Outta Compton was a masterpiece. So before I sign off, I hope this trend continues of seeing movies done by some of our urban music heroes. So the 5 biopic movies I would want to see: unquestioned number one, Public Enemy. We got to get a biopic movie on them. Number 2 would be the Ghetto Boys. I'm not sure how well that would do commercially, because I still think Ghetto Boys is kind of underground. But I gotta see that. Outkast. I think what they did for Atlanta is just like unheard of. Like, anybody who wants to do music now moves to Atlanta. And I think that started 22 years ago with Outkast coming out in 94. Um, a Tribe Called Quest, especially with Fife no longer being with us. I'd be really interested, even though they already did a documentary. I would love to see somebody reenact them and kind of do that story. And then the final one would probably be Wu Tang Clan. Just because there's so many of them, it'd just be interesting to see how they could do that movie justice when you get 9 different cats, 10 if you count Capadonna, 9 different cats in a group, all coming from just Brooklyn and Long Island. That'd be super interesting. All right, so man, I done ran my mouth for 13 minutes. This is your boy Track Lacer signing out. You see that little red button that says subscribe? Make sure you hit that. Make sure you give this a thumbs up, and also leave a comment of what you thought of the movie if you watched it tonight. All right, we out.